Thanks, Ray. You?
Yeah, guys, your thoughts on returning home after 3 games away from Fayetteville, playing in front of the home crowd and playing a program like Notre Dame?
It's so nice being back home. I've always liked traveling, but there's no place like home. So it's going to be a fun opportunity, especially against a top 25 team. And, I'm really excited. I grew up liking Notre Dame, so it's fun to be able to play them.
Raylen.
It's just another opportunity to play football. It's my last season, so it's just another game for me, for us, regardless of the name. So it's just a great opportunity to go play football again.
The offense has had a little bit of a struggle in the last 2 quarters of the last 2 games. I'm wondering what you guys can attribute that to. I know it's probably not just one thing, but how do you get things turned around for this one?
We just got to execute better. We're kind of shooting ourselves in the foot with execution. So, it's a team sport. It takes all 11 of us to be successful. So, we just got to execute better in the second half.
I think the big thing, especially for the receiver room, is just being more detailed. I think that's the biggest thing for us. Just the missed assignments, things like that, we can't have. So, like you said, shooting ourselves in the foot, we can't have, especially with a team we're about to play this week. So, we just gotta, play 4 quarters and play full 4 quarters. We come out hot, we gotta finish hot. So, I think that's the biggest thing.
Y'all probably don't know that Chris Ash was defensive coordinator here a long time ago, but he's the coordinator at Notre Dame. What do they like to do defensively? Are they aggressive? They heavy blitz? What do you see out of those guys and anybody that jumps out to you personnel wise?
I think the biggest thing is they run man. They have a lot of confidence in their defense. They don't blitz as much as the other teams that we've played. But a big man quarter team, they like to match up with whoever. So good defense. They had the freshman All-American. They've talked about a couple injuries, things like that. But from a receiver standpoint, man, we just got to play football, regardless of who's in front of us. And if it's man, it's mano a mano. So. Just very excited for us to go against them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. They play really disciplined. They're really well coached. They're going to be where they're supposed to be. So we got to take advantage of that in some situations and really establish a run game.
Thanks, fellas.
Welcome.
Matt, go ahead.
Yeah, Caden, for you, I mean, was that ever a serious Irish fandom or just more casually?
So my mom's stepdad has, I think it was his sister that taught there. So I wouldn't say my parents are more serious fans. I grew up playing hockey, so football really wasn't my main sport. So that's them. But we grew up liking Notre Dame. So I don't like them this week, that's for sure though.
Yeah, I forget who it was, but I think it was Junior was saying after Ole Miss that you kind of pulled the O linemen together. Did you do something similar again after Memphis, or did somebody else do that?
Yeah, Memphis, it was more tough situation. So I did that in the locker room. I just went up to everybody being like, trying to be supportive, man. Everybody, especially after a loss like that, it's unfortunate, man. So I was just trying to be there for everybody, let them know that, hey, we just got to keep working. Like we got to trust that we can win out and that we can put this behind us. We can learn from it. So, I tried to be there for everybody and, I think we had a good practice today. So I want to say it worked.
Yeah, and for both of you guys along those lines, what's kind of being said amongst teammates to kind of keep up the energy and kind of regroup?
Like I said earlier, just being more detailed, going back to the basics, and just being locked in at one play at a time. Don't think about the future. Think about things like that. Just play one play at a time. That's all you can do. And so just being detailed and having that energy like all throughout the game. So that's what we're gonna need to do.
Yeah, we really emphasized energy finishing out practice today. So the last 2 periods or whatever it was, we were emphasizing being a lot more vocal, a lot more energetic. Like we had people jumping around, screaming, getting everybody going. So, we're trying to simulate that in practice so we can come out and finish a game.
Thanks, guys.
Jackson, go ahead.
Sure. Raylen, with the offense and kind of the receivers, and it seems like Talen's doing a pretty good job of spreading the ball around. Just what are your impressions so far of the passing game? It seems like kind of what Trey was saying, it's been really good in the first half, last two games, but kind of falling off. What do you think of the passing game specifically of what y'all have done so far the first four games?
I think, a lot of us just come to play. I think that's just what it is. And so, like I said, we got to be more detailed in the second half. Not get too up and not get too down. So that's why I said, like, the emphasis this week is just being more detailed, no misassignments, making sure we're on the basics. So, I think the biggest thing for us is making sure we're not lackadaisical at practice, and just making sure we're always having energy, we're always finishing to the end zone, things like that. Just not letting off the gas.
For either of you guys, Rohan Jones lined up at fullback for two plays and scored on both. That first touchdown pass, I mean, was that a play that was working in practice when you were running it? Was it working that well? I mean, did you guys have a feeling that play was going to be successful when you brought it to the game?
Yeah, I think we ran it Monday. We just ran it a different way, and the receiver room was like, "Yeah, this is gonna work." So, we just knew that that play was gonna work. And Rohan himself, he's gonna play ball, man. He's a gamer. So when the ball comes his way, he's gonna do something with it. And so, uh, I think that's everybody in the room as well.
Caden, what have you seen from Rohan? Not a hot start, but contributing and then kind of blows up. I mean, how good was it to see that kind of performance from him on Saturday against Memphis?
It's always good to see the guys that put in work, get the credit that they deserve. I was asked the same thing about Talon and how he's getting some like Heisman credit. So, it's cool to see that. But Rohan, he's been a guy that has put his head down and worked nonstop ever since he got here. Coming in with him and seeing him do that and how he works and, the kind of camaraderie he has with all of the teammates, it's inspiring and it inspires me to be better in both those ways too.
Caden, what have you seen from the guy next to you on the right side, Kobe Branham? Obviously, his first full year, full time starting. How has he kind of progressed through the first 4 weeks?
I always give Kobe crap because he always steps on my feet, so that hurts. But Kobe, he's been great, man. You would not think he's 19 if you met him. Like he's a real mature dude for being a second year. He has a poise to him that he holds, and he plays with a lot of great technique. He plays physical. He plays like a vet, and it's cool to be able to play next to someone like that. Has got a lot of eligibility, so I'm trying to teach him everything I know about playing in big games so he can be better when the time comes.
I know grading offensive line play can be kind of weird and tough, but I think Pro Football Focus today said that y'all's offensive line is the best pass blocking offensive line in the country so far. I mean, what do you think's been the biggest key for y'all's success as a unit up front?
Practice, honestly, getting a lot of banked reps. Me making the right calls, the right IDs, making sure everybody's on the same page. It's taken a lot of work to get to where we're at, and we're not done by any means. But it's cool to see that stat pay off, and it gives us a little encouragement through the losses. Know that we're doing something good.
Raylen, what have you seen from Mike in practice the past couple of days? What's kind of been the messages in offense trying to pick him up just off what happened on Saturday? Sam said he was pretty down, but how have you guys been trying to pick him up and bounce back from that?
I think the biggest thing, I talked to him after the game. I just told him, you gotta talk to God and just ask him the perspective He's given to you. What is He learning? What is He trying to teach you? I think that's the biggest thing. And we went through the last 2 weeks, and I told Talon as well. Just see what God's teaching you, what perspective He's trying to give you, and things of that nature. So he's good. He's back to normal. It happens. You got to have short-term memory loss in this game. So he's back to him. He's playing hard. He's practicing hard like he always does. So it was unfortunate what happened, but you got to shake back. We got a long season. You got to go, 1-0 each day. So you got to forget about the past and learn from it though at the same time.
Caden said he was grew up kind of a Notre Dame fan. Do you have any, childhood memories of the Notre Dame program or anything like that? No.
Nah, not at all.
All right. Appreciate it, guys.
How do you wrap it up?
Yeah, just to kind of follow up on what Raylan said, so maybe I'll pivot to Caden, but just when there is kind of a tough fumble at the end, maybe an individual weight on one player, how do you maybe as an athlete, like if you have a tough moment, like what's your process for kind of bouncing back and picking yourself up?
Like Raylen said, you got to have short-term memory in the game we play. So it's always that next play mentality. There were some plays that I had bad plays on Saturday, and that's just how it is. Like that's how football goes. You're going to get beat every now and then. It's just how you can bounce back from those moments. So personally, I recognize that I messed up. Whoever is affected by that play, I go up to him and be like, "Hey, it won't happen again," and then we move on.
Thanks, guys.
Mhm.
Those appreciate your time. See you Saturday.
Thanks, guys.